नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So we have been discussing from the third chapter of the first volume of Shri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the description about the just hold on for 1 second. Just 1 second. Okay. So he sees the Prayag Brahmana and he thinks that maybe this Prayag Brahmana should be the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. Prayag Brahmana says, no, you should go to South India and meet that South Indian king. And he goes to South India, meets that king. I'm cutting the long story short. He says, no, actually the demigods and especially the leader of the demigods, Indra, he is the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. Then, uh, then uh, he goes to heaven. He meets Indra, has a conversation with him. Indra says, no, I have such and such and such and such. All these problems are there. Actually, you should know better. Your own father, Brahmaji, he is the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. From there, he goes to Brahmaloka. Then he has a conversation with Brahmaji. Brahmaji gives various reasons why he is not the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. So from Brahmaloka, he directs him to Shivaloka, which is the Prapanchatita Shivaloka, which is beyond this material realm. So he goes there, he meets Lord Shiva, and that's where we have been discussing for the last few days. So he sees Lord Shiva very ecstatic, and he falls at his feet and calls him the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. Then, um, Lord Shiva embraces Narada Muni and says, "Why are you speaking like this?" And then Narada Muni continues to glorify Lord Shiva as the controller of the whole universe and the recipient of the greatest mercy of Krishna. Lord Shiva becomes very angry. He covers his ears and he says, I am not the controller. And in fact, I am hankering only for the mercy of the devotee of Krishna. And when Lord Shiva speaks with so much anger and emotion, Narada Muni actually feels that maybe I have committed an offense by comparing Lord Shiva with Krishna. So he stops mentioning Lord Shiva's Ishwaratva and starts emphasizing on his Vaishnava characteristics. So he says, actually, you know the confidential glories of Vishnu and you know the confidential glories of the Vaishnavas. Uh, and therefore, the best of the Vaishnavas aspire for your mercy, right? And in fact, even Lord Krishna wants to spread your glories. That's why he has worshipped you in many incarnations and he has taken boons from you. But as soon as Lord Shiva was hearing all these things, he could not tolerate. He starts closing Narada Muni's mouth and he says, please don't talk about my arrogance. This is all the incomprehensible nature of Krishna's pastimes. Huh? My Lord is so unlimitedly glorious that even though I commit so many offenses, he still does not reject me. This is his glory. And seeing Lord Shiva speaking with so much absorption, Narada Muni immediately catches hold of Lord Shiva's feet and he spoke in a way to appease Narada Muni. So Narada Muni says, Actually, how can you ever offend Lord Krishna? This can never be true. In fact, the perception of people that you're offending Lord Krishna is only their wrong perception. Even Krishna does not see it that way. Otherwise, how is it possible that when Krishna had decided to kill Banasur for all his nefarious activities of hating the Vaishnavas and hating Vishnu, as soon as he heard your prayers, immediately he released Banasur. Not only that, he gave Banasur a form like himself and he made him your own personal associate. So why would Krishna do it if he did not have that love for you? And even when sometimes it seems like you give benediction to inappropriate benedictions to demons, what they don't realize is that you have secretly left loopholes in those benedictions which Lord Vishnu could exploit and actually kill that demon. So, and even though personalities like Chitraketu Maharaj clearly insulted you, you never took insult for the, for for one reason, because they were actually Vaishnavas. Hmm. And people criticize you because once you ask the benediction to the Supreme Lord, wanting to be greater than him, but in reality, you, because Lord Vishnu considers his devotee as greater than himself, you actually requested Vishnu to be a devotee of him, right? So, therefore, Krishna was very happy to grant you and Mother Parvati with the benediction to award liberation. And despite being so glorious, you roam around just like an Avaduta. This is your glory, actually. And in fact, you roam around naked or dance around naked only because of your absorption in Krishna. And today I have seen your unparalleled greed for Krishna. So therefore, you must be the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. And in fact, Krishna's love for you is uninterrupted. And because of you, many people have become devotees of Krishna. And not only that, even because of Mother Parvati's mercy, many people have become devotees of Krishna. And in fact, you care for Mother Parvati only because she is the sister of Krishna. And you try to please her in various ways by conducting these Vaishnava festivals where she gets the opportunity to hear Krishna Katha, chant Krishna Kirtan, and associate with Krishna Bhaktas. And on and on and on, when Narada Muni was glorifying Lord Shiva in this way, Lord Shiva got very embarrassed and he spoke to Narada Muni. He said that, why are you giving me so much pain by comparing me to Krishna? Hmm. Uh, in fact, I am covered by many, many Mithya Abhimanas. I think I am the Lokesha, I am the Mukti Prada, I am the Bhakti Prada, I think I am a Bhakta. In this way, I am covered by many, many uh, false identities, right? And in fact, I am the root of all false identities in other living entities. And in reality, you may see that I can destroy the universe, but I am just being impelled by mode of ignorance to do it. And in fact, I'm very ashamed to do it. Mm. So if I really had even a drop of mercy of Krishna, then why would I fight with Krishna in many episodes? Uh, And if you really think that Krishna was merciful on me, then why would he ask me to spread Mayavad to confuse people? Mm. And in fact, you are glorifying that Krishna bestowed upon us the um, ability to give liberation to others. In fact, uh, we are very much displeased. We are not pleased at all because uh, the Vaishnavas are not very happy to hear that someone else other than Vishnu can give liberation. So therefore, Narada Muni, do not think that I am the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. It is actually the Vaikuntavasis who are the greatest recipients of Krishna's mercy. In fact, they have given up things of this world as if they are as insignificant as a piece of straw. They have, uh, I am covered with so much false upadhis, but they are free of all kinds of false pride. And for that reason, they have attained Vaikunta. right? And then it is mentioned that even though the Vaikuntha Vasis have similar power towards the Lord, but they don't want to accept equality with the Lord, never. But the Lord, being very satisfied with them, shares his own power with all of them. And in fact, they are so satisfied with Lord Hari, they are free to travel wherever they want, for the sole purpose of protecting and promoting the devotees and devotional service. And these Vaikuntavasis are always worshipping the Lord, and when they see people who are merely liberated but not worshipping the Lord in one of the rasas, they are actually very amused to see them. And as a way of not criticizing, but sort of making fun of them, they show that even a form of bird or tree or a grass in Vaikuntha is experiencing more bliss than this kind of impersonal liberation. And they can always see him, they always live with him in great joy. And where else can you see such a shower of mercy of Krishna other than the Vaikuntha Vasis? And in Vaikuntha, there is constant rendering of devotional limbs by all the residents of Vaikuntha for the sole purpose of spreading love for Krishna. What to speak of that? Even the bliss of Brahmananda cannot compare to even a fraction of drop of bliss which is seen in Vaikuntha. Everyone and everything in Vaikuntha is blessed with mercy of Krishna's lotus feet. Therefore, the Vaikuntha Vasis are definitely the recipients of greater mercy than me. Even the people of this world who have Vaikuntha consciousness, who are residing in the material world, are worshipable by me. What to speak of those who have attained Vaikuntha? So, and then he says that such Rasika Bhaktas are fully surrendered to Krishna and are willing to abandon everything which are unfavorable for Krishna Bhakti. They are not interested in any sadhya or sadhana of this world. In fact, they have transcended all dharma. Even if if it may be from an external point of view, it may be seen like they have not repaid their debts to Deva, Rishi, Bhuta. So if they have not repaid their debts by the power of bhakti, they are still fearless by their power of bhakti to Krishna. And because they are greedy for bhakti rasa, therefore, swarga, apavarga, narakeshu api tulyartha darshina. They are not really concerned whether they are in swarga or naraka or apavarga. Yeah. So this is where we were discussing the other day. तावत् कर्माणि कुर्वीत निर्विद्येत यावता मत्कथा श्रवणादौ वा श्रद्धा यावन्न जायते. So this is where we were discussing the other day, matkata shravanadau va shraddha yavanna jayate. So even though here the word shraddha is used, many times, sometimes people may say, no, taste. Do you have taste for chanting? The verse itself does not say taste for chanting. The verse says faith. Someone may say, oh, do you have so much faith? Here he does not say so much faith. He just says faith. Shraddha yavanna jayate. When faith takes birth, then you can give it up. So, but if you translate it into taste, then that is a problem. Then you will say, oh, you don't have taste, so you have to continue to practice. So this is where we were discussing yesterday, that you cannot say what is not there in the verse, right? So and then so this is neither the translation of Srila Prabhupada nor is it the translation of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So then if we give our own explanations, then it will lead to problem. So that is why what we did, immediately we opened the Veda base and tried to check what was exactly written there. Chakravarti Pads and even Prabhupada's disciples or and yeah, it can be it this is or on this is or only and it's not and actually. Yeah, yeah. In some editions it is and in some editions it's or, but in the purport it becomes very clear. Purport he says nirvidyeta yavata indicates the qualification for jnana. Matkata shravanada va shraddha is the qualification for bhakti. So if you have gained either qualification for jnana or bhakti, at that point of time one can give it up. That is very clear, right? So therefore we were discussing huh? Yeah, Uddhav Gita. Yeah, 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 yeah. That is the context also of the discussion. And then he quotes, yeah. See, when we join, uh, okay, see, joining ashram is, I mean, it has nothing to do with bhakti. So, and duties means, first thing, varnashrama duties. So when you don't know exactly what your varna is, then what kind of duty are you talking about? Right? So that is the point. So when you don't know your varna, then it is very unsafe for you to speak about varnashrama only, because you will get immediately caught. Because the first principle of varnashrama is shreyan swadharmo viguna paradharmo swanushtitat. Swadharmehi nidanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. You cannot do anyone else's prescribed duty. You don't know your varna, then you don't know your prescribed duties. Then how do you know whether you are performing your prescribed duties or someone else's prescribed duty? So if according to this, then if you perform someone else's prescribed duty, you are gaining sins. So this is where the problem comes. Okay. Who is stopping you? Who is stopping you? Do na. That anyone will do. थोड़ा उधर ये मत करो, पीछे फंगस है. कल मेरा कुर्ता पूरा हाँ धूप हो गया ना. वो फैन से इधर कुछ नहीं आता है. So the point is, many times people, this is what they see, what they probably mean is that कुछ नहीं है. What they probably mean is that you should not give up your responsibilities. See, this whole dharma movement, it has its root within ISKCON in one sense. You know, you can see it is because of improper preaching about bhakti only. They emphasized bhakti, but they did not properly emphasize bhakti. The scope of bhakti was not properly defined. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in Chaitanya Shikshamrit, there are primary limbs of bhakti and secondary limbs of bhakti. Primary limbs of bhakti are Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, direct. The secondary limbs are those which assist bhakti, which can assist bhakti. but in themselves they are not limbs of bhakti. If used to assist the primary limbs, they are also limbs of bhakti, like taking bath. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, taking bath keeps the gross body disease free and the mind very fresh, which is all very conducive for practicing the primary limbs of bhakti. So when one takes bath for the purpose of keeping the gross body healthy and the mind fresh so that he can chant and hear and perform the primary limbs nicely, then the taking bath becomes a limb of devotional service. So like that, any activity which can assist the primary limbs also come within the category of secondary limbs, come within the category of bhakti. But because the primary limbs were exclusively emphasized and many of the essential secondary limbs were neglected, so it became a very lopsided, incorrect definition of what is bhakti. So what did they do? But so this naturally needs to problems, right? This naturally will need to functional problems. Dump the load and hit the road. मतलब क्या? Pregnancy मतलब क्या है? So pregnancy is an obstacle in devotional service. Your child will take your time away from devotional service. You will not be able to go out and distribute the books. Dump the load means get it aborted and go and distribute books. So these are all improper understanding of bhakti only. This happened. This has happened. ISKCON has seen all these things. जो भी है, whatever. Or that also. So because of these kind of preaching, where you have not properly defined what bhakti is, so the pendulum will naturally swing to the other end, because you will have practical problems, social problems, personal problems, spiritual problems, if the secondary limbs are neglected. You overemphasize and the primary limbs. So what they will do, they see that you are so the secondary limbs, when the pendulum swings to the other side, they retain the same definition of bhakti. Bhakti means what? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam. खाली वो करने से नहीं होगा, वर्णाश्रम करना चाहिए. What they actually want to communicate is, why did you neglect the secondary limbs? Their concern is valid concern actually. Their concern is valid. But in doing that, what the mistake that they have done is they have retained this short-sighted definition of bhakti. Both parties have the same definition of bhakti, right? The first party's definition is only primary limbs. The second party has also adopted the same definition. Okay, yeah, previously नहीं था. नहीं, उसका एक रीजन ये है. The one reason is because of the history of improper preaching. Don't think that this happened only during Prabhupada's time. Even during subsequent years, also this kind of lopsided. Oh, someone says they can't hear me. Others also cannot hear me. Okay, can you please type and let me know? Okay, others can hear. Prabhuji, Radha Damodar Prabhu, I think it's just maybe your internet issue. Just you can try to fix it. Others can hear. Okay, so the point is that it's not just during Prabhupada's time. Even now, bhakti kya hai? People say Shravanam Kirtanam. But utna hi hai kya bhakti? So you have created an artificial compartmentalization. ये भक्ति है, ये वर्णाश्रम है, ऐसा नहीं है. That kind of compartmentalization is not there. There are many elements which may fall within varnashram, many activities which are actually conducive for bhakti. They are secondary limbs of bhakti. Now abhi, if you make it varnashram and you say that varnashram is essential for bhakti, तो क्या होगा? Then in order to understand what varnashram is, you will have to read the dharma shastras also. Then apart from bhakti shastras, you will have to refer to dharma shastras also. Now you have introduced additional literatures which is not हमारा अधिकार का अनुसार नहीं है. It is not according to our adhikar. So the problem started with the practitioners of devotional service only. Those who have emphasized, they are the cause of this problem. So due to a very narrow understanding of what bhakti is one of the main causes of this whole dharma wave. Why? Yeah. It is not just balance. You have to understand what the what the acharyas have spoken. Correct. So correct. So whatever, see, rather than so उसमें आनुकूल्य से संकल्प हो, प्रातिकूल्य से वर्जनम में सब कुछ आ जाता है. But when you say varnashram, there are many aspects which are pratikul to bhakti. First thing, the whole basis of varnashram itself is pratikul actually. Dharmasya sankalpo adharmasya varjanam. So which means rather than thinking what will please Krishna and Guru, you will say अरे मेरा वर्ण का अनुसार है कि नहीं, मतलब वो प्रिंसिपल है ही नहीं. So that is the whole and soul problem actually. So therefore you can empathize. Mistakes have been done and mistakes are happening. So you have to understand, a very narrow-minded understanding of bhakti is also problematic, and creating this artificial compartmentalization is also problematic because it creates a lot of confusion actually. One of the main confusions is, अरे हमारा आचार्यगण ने then they have they completely given whatever is needed for us to live. प्रेम के लिए भक्ति है, और for living we need varnashram. And what talks about varnashram? Mahabharat, Dharma Shastras. And what about Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam is for living. Now, if you create such kind of an artificial thing, which means you are in one sense indicating that our acharyas have not given any instructions and pramanas to actually live. They have given only the books and literature. They have commented only on those literatures which are fit for living. जो भी लिविंग का लिटरेचर है उसके बारे में कुछ भी कमेंट्री नहीं दिया, तो इसलिए हमको इधर उधर ढूंढना पड़ेगा. वैसा है क्या? So this understanding, so now the question is, first thing is, how do you know when you will live? How do you know when you will live? So this is, so bifurcation is there. Both are relevant literatures, but not relevant for the same person. What they have done is, जब तक जिएगा महाभारत के अनुसार जियो, जब मृत्यु का टाइम आएगा भागवतम के अनुसार प्राण छोड़ो. मतलब this is not the teaching of Bhagavatam. This is not the teaching of Prabhupada. Yes, there are different kinds of literatures which are divided based on adhikar and not based on, for the same person for the purpose of living and living. Right? So this kind of this is an artificial creation. This is not there. Bhagavad Gita itself does not say that. Bhagavatam itself does not say that. In fact, the whole Bhagavatam starts with the question by Parikshit Maharaj, who asks, what is the best thing to do for a person at the time of death and at all times? So, वैसा ही question पूछा. He did not ask a question only for the time of death, at all times. Because what you practice at all times, this has been Prabhupada's constant preaching. What you practice at all times is what you will do at the time of death also. So the how to live, how you live, that's how you will live. So if you live being concerned about dharma, then at the end of life, you will be a very dharmic person, earn a lot of pious credits and be reborn again. Right? So this is the point. So that we were discussing. And in that we were discussing about these various things about how, the residents of Vaikunta are the Vaikunta conscious residents of the material world. They are not very concerned about dharma, which does not mean that they are adharmic in nature. Uh, they are concerned about pleasing Krishna. They are concerned about bhakti, and automatically that dharma comes. If a person properly tries to live his life according to the teachings of Bhakti Shastras, will he live an adharmic life? Right? So, not if he understands the complete scope of what bhakti is. So, in one sense, if you see what they say, their concern is genuine concern. The dharma group, their concern is genuine, but their suggestions are not, that application, the pramanas that they are suggesting are not, yeah, you will create. So, Radha Pramod Prabhu, you want to share something?
Prabhuji, I feel their topics are relevant for general mass of people, but not for devotees, because it is very much relevant for them also in terms of if present society, if people understand what are dharmic principles. So audience are different, then only it is applicable. Otherwise, they need not.
Otherwise, So, Radha Pramod Prabhu is sharing that what they speak is relevant for general mass of people and not for devotees. So, when you speak those principles with the same emphasis to devotees, it can confuse people. It can potentially confuse people. So that is why Hridayanand Maharaj's lifetime project, his magnum opus thing was he did his PhD in Sanskrit, and his magnum opus work was to translate Mahabharata and give a Vaishnava commentary on Mahabharata. So he was doing it, and halfway he actually after many years of doing it, he stopped it and he did not pursue it. And one of the disciples asked him, why did you do? And he said that I'm translating all of this, but if actually our devotees study these things, rather than getting a clear direction in their devotional service, they will only get confused. Huh? So that is why so glorify किया. So that is why, so he stopped it. Otherwise, this was his lifetime project. He wanted to do this, but because the nature of that grantha itself is different, the audience itself is different. How to write, how to very intelligibly write a differential calculus book for a BA literature student. How you will write, जितना भी आप उसमें कमेंट्री दो, एकदम एक्सक्विजिट इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में कमेंट्री दो, it will, it's meant for a different audience, right? You can write a differential calculus book in Russian language so that Russians can read it, but you cannot write how much ever commentary you give. How can you, the book is meant for mathematics students, it is not meant for art student, right? So he stopped it actually. He said, this will, jitna bhi commentary dunga, it will confuse people only, right? So that is the point. Yeah, talking about Varnashram, I said yesterday that I will read a passage, Prabhupada's this thing. Did I read it yesterday? कल पढ़ा क्या? नहीं, सेपरेट कुछ पढ़ा नहीं ना, बट पढ़ूंगा बोला ना मैंने. He was online. Yeah, I saw. So I will just read from that this thing. This is very interesting. This thing, I will just share the screen with you. So this is a compilation of what His Holiness Shivram Swami Maharaj had collected from Prabhupada speaking about Varnashram. Shivram Swami Maharaj. So I am going to read this for you. I'll share the screen so that you can see it. So I will try to increase the. So you can see, right? Those who are, is it clearly visible? Okay. So now Prabhupada says ISKCON should be a Varnashram pilot project for the world. Pilot project मतलब क्या है? Demonstration model. छोटा स्केल में करो, उसको देख के लोग बड़ा स्केल में रेप्लिकेट कर सके. Now this is a conversation between Satswarup Maharaj, Hari Shauri Prabhu and Srila Prabhupada. Okay, carefully listen. Probably this is from the Transcendental Diary. अभी ये हम पढ़े होंगे, but we might have missed the point. There is a very important subtle point. I will read. You carefully hear. Satswarup Maharaj says, introduced starting with ISKCON community. Prabhupada says, yes, Brahmana, Kshatriyas, there must be regular education. Hari Shauri Prabhu said, but in our community, if being as we are trained up as Vaishnavas. Prabhupada said, yes. Hari Shauri Prabhu said, where will we introduce the Varnashram system then? Prabhupada said, in our society, amongst our members, we will introduce. Hari Shauri Prabhu said, but then if everybody is being raised to the Brahmanical platform, then how are you going to create these 4 classes? Prabhupada said, not everybody. Why are you misunderstanding? Varnashrama, Not everybody is Brahmana. Harishauri Prabhu said, no, but in our society, practically everyone is being raised to that platform. So then one might ask, what is? Prabhupada says, that is, everybody is being raised, but they are falling down. Harishauri Prabhu says, the principle we follow, we are just thinking how it can be implemented. You are saying that it should be started in our society. Prabhupada says, yes, that is a very broad idea. Now we are speaking of some of them, training them. That is another thing, that is small scale. He says, Harishauri Prabhu said, the principle we are following. Prabhupada says, yes, for the big scale, this is required. This is the required. In big scale, you cannot make all of them as Brahmanas or Sannyasis. No, that is not possible. This is a small scale. How many percentage of people of the world we are controlling? So Prabhupada ka small scale means what? Within ISKCON. But big scale, what percentage of population are we controlling? Very insignificant. But if you want to make the whole human society perfect, then this Krishna consciousness movement should be introduced according to Krishna's instruction. What is Krishna's instruction? Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagasha. Right? If you want to do it in a large scale for the benefit of the whole human society, you have to introduce this. Karo. This will become more and more clear now, you see. That we said, Prabhupada says, means we are going to take them. That means not we are going to take them, but we are simply giving the ideas. समझा ना? हम खुद का सोसाइटी को पूरा वैसा, हे शूद्र इधर आ जाओ, मतलब आप शूद्र का काम करो. You have the guna of a shudra, you do a shudra's job. You have guna of a brahmana. We are not going to do like that, but we are going to give them the ideas. Them means what? जिनको शुद्ध भक्ति का श्रद्धा नहीं है. हाँ, जो शुद्ध भक्ति को लेने वाला नहीं है, उसको आइडिया देने वाले हैं. Right? But to show that just like you play in a drama, you are playing the part of a king, you are not a king. समझा ना? So who is playing the drama? ISKCON devotees are playing the drama. You are playing the role of a king, but you are not the king. Who are you? Gopi Bhartar Padakamalayar Das Dasananda. That is our designation. Prabhupada says, बाकी roles भी play करो. दिखाने के लिए गाइड करेंगे, पर उनको कैसे, by your example. मॉडल दिखाओ, मतलब go to the stage, play it and show them. Yeah. So Harishauri Prabhu says no. So Prabhupada says, so you are playing the part of a king, you are not a king. Harishauri Prabhu says, yeah, no, like that. Prabhupada says, so similarly, just to give them idea, we have to play like that. Harishauri Prabhu says, well, again, that's, Prabhupada says, not necessarily that we are going to be Shudra. So that is it. That is the thing. We are servant of Krishna. That's all. And as servant of Krishna, we have to execute the order of Krishna. Satswarup Maharaj says, so we can ideally organize ourselves, and for the rest of the people, all we can do is hope that they will follow it. We will organize to show them and hope that they will follow it. Prabhupada says, yes. Bhavanand Maharaj says, set the example. Prabhupada says, in order to serve the mass, ये last जो paragraph है, ये most important है, सुनो carefully. In order to serve the mass of people, to bring them to the ideal position, so mass of people, we should try to introduce this Varnashram, not that we are going to be the candidates of Varnashram. समझा कि नहीं? It is not our business, but to teach them how the world will be in peaceful position, we have to introduce. और कितना क्लियर हो सकता है? क्लियर ना? Yeah. So ये इसका शिवराम महाराज ने 3-4 वॉल्यूम का बुक कंपाइल किया है. What all Prabhupada spoke about वर्णाश्रम, and yes, उसको थीम वाइज उसको अरेंज करके किया है. वेरी ब्यूटीफुल वर्क एक्चुअली. दिस इज वो रहेगा. So you see, so clear, you know, it is such a clear presentation, right? To set the example for others as a pilot project for others. नहीं, करेक्ट. नहीं, अभी हमारे पास पायलट प्रोजेक्ट रेडी नहीं है. Pilot project is not yet ready because we have not yet figured out how you are going to do it. So ISKCON के अंदर, ISKCON will be a pilot project. ISKCON के अंदर एक pilot project चाहिए so that other ISKCON members can replicate. Then ISKCON will become the global pilot project. समझा ना? So you need pilot के अंदर, pilot के अंदर, pilot के अंदर, pilot के अंदर, वैसा आपको कोई तो वैसे करना पड़ेगा. So who is going to bell the cat? And so the point is that whoever is doing, they should have this proper understanding. So no one should end up telling, "अरे तू वर्णाश्रम फॉलो नहीं कर रहा है क्या? तो मतलब भक्ति में प्रगति कर ही नहीं सकता." Yeah, this is not one generation. Work. 200 generation means almost like you can say like 6-7 generations. Mature leader चाहिए. Mature leader will bring mature community. That is the point. This is the ये essence. Money हो, fear हो, force हो नहीं. Voluntary organization हमको चलाना है. Like Prabhupada said, fan the spark. You should be able to fan the spark of voluntary spirit. So if you are able to fan the spark of voluntary spirit, then a voluntary organization can run. But otherwise, if everything is sort of yeah. 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 Okay, so that is what I wanted to just share about this Tavat Karmani Kurvita na Nirvidyate Avata, because iska, you know, you can get many different kinds of understandings, but we have to stick to what the acharyas have spoken. That is our guiding light, right? Similarly, Sarvadharman Parityajya Taktva Sadharmam Charanam Bhujam Harer, and so on. And then we started discussing on this theme of the second aspect of second symptom of the Vaikuntha Vasis and those living in the material world with Vaikuntha consciousness is that they are free from all selfish concerns. Anyabhilashita shunyam. Right? So this is the, yeah, that is also there, that we already discussed. This is Anyabhilashita shunyam. Right? They have no interest in transcendental perfections such as a personal form like the Supreme Lords. Salokya sarshi samipya sarupya ekatvam apyuta diyamanam na grinanti vinamat sevanam jana. In the eyes of the residents of Vaikuntha, everything other than pure love of God is not only insignificant, but also detrimental to the advancement of bhakti. So, just like karma and bhakti can support karma and jnana, can karma and jnana support bhakti? They cannot support bhakti, they actually obstruct bhakti. Thus, they consider impersonal liberation and being elevated to heaven the same as being sent to hell. Narayana parasarge na kutaschana bibyati swarga apavarga narakeshu api tulyartha darshina. Speaking here to Narada, Lord Shiva echoes his own words from the 6th canto of Bhagavatam. Kaun sa verse hai? Wahi verse hai. Narayana parasarve na kutaschana bibyati swarga apavarga narakeshu api tulyartha darshina. Devotees solely engaged in the service of Narayana never fear any condition of life. For them, the heavenly planets, liberation and hellish planets are all the same. Like that. So this is description of Vaikuntha going on by being narrated by Lord Shiva to Narada Muni. That description is going on. We'll continue now. आज का discussion अभी शुरू हो रहा है. Okay, maybe नहीं हो रहा है कोई तो. Devotees say to hold bhakti you need the container, and that is the activity or karma ritual required for that spirit. Huh? Yeah, to hold bhakti you need the container, which is the form. Yeah. So that is a lifestyle of bhakti. Huh? Vacho vegam, sorry. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyam cha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. Utsahan nischayat dhairyat tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritte shadbir bhaktir prasidhyati. So following the do's and avoiding the don'ts, a lifestyle which is conducive for doing Shravanam Kirtanam is given in the 64 limbs by Srila Rupa Goswami. Respect Tulsi, don't be carried away by extreme emotions, worship the Guru, serve the Guru. And there are so many things which are lifestyle connected instructions in the 64 limbs. If that is not clear, in Hari Bhakti Vilas, further elaboration is given by Srila Sanatana Goswami. So that is the container. Okay, Adi Bhagavan Prabhu. Yeah, I am going to unmute you. Yeah, go ahead.
Prabhuji, I was saying in the sense that they say that some activity is required. That means you are doing some karma. So they say that, okay, why do you say that only bhakti is independent? It is dependent on karma. We have to do some activity. So as I understood from you is that what we are saying karma and jnana is actually a completely different thing. Even the activities in bhakti are the part of bhakti only.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
are not karma. Correct.
So they say that that we have to practice some karma. How can you not practice any karma? Yeah, even when Rupa Goswami defines what is jnana karma the anavritam, Jiva Goswami very clearly explains karma means varnashram karma. But other Shravanam is karma, Kirtanam is karma, Archanam is very much karma, Padasevanam is karma. All of that is karma, but we are not talking about that karma. And even the second, so these are all primary limbs. What about the secondary limbs? Taking bath so that you can go in front of the Lord in a pure state, you can worship the Lord in a pure state. These are also bhakti only. That is also karma. Taking bath is karma. So we are not talking about that karma. We are talking about those karma which are specifically prescribed for the Nitya Naimittika karma which are prescribed according to one's varna and ashrama in the Dharma Shastras. We are talking about that karma.
Yeah.
That we need not do. That recommendation, then at least one of the Dharma Shastras must have been translated and commented upon by our acharyas. None.
Yeah, so yeah, basically Arjuna was not doing his Kshatriya dharma, but he was doing actually the bhakti. Actually, yeah.
Arjuna was not doing his Kshatriya dharma. Arjuna was actually Vaishnav Dharma, right?
Bhagavad Dharma.
Yeah, Bhagavad Dharma. He was like Prabhupada always says. Initially, Arjuna did not want to fight on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but after he heard Bhagavad Gita, he fought because Krishna wanted him to fight. So that is the point.
Hmm.
So someone may say, oh, why did Krishna ask him to fight? Krishna could have asked him to do something else. He asked him to fight because he was a Kshatriya, because Krishna wanted to emphasize Varnashrama only, like that. Okay,
Hmm.
we will completely accept it as long as some acharyas has mentioned about it.
Yeah, I think yesterday you were reading some part.
Huh?
Yesterday you were reading one article, I think something similar.
Yeah, yesterday I was reading an article. Acha.
Yeah, where it says that until unless whatever your innate nature is, you dovetail it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct. So, yeah, so that is the point. Okay, so we will do one more verse, at least one new verse we should do. 2 minutes left. We will try to do this verse. Bhagavaniva satyam me taeva paramapriyah paramaprartaniyascha mamatair sahasangamaha. Satyam, truly I tell you, te eva, such devotees, me paramapriyaha, are limitlessly dear to me. Bhagavaniva, they are as dear to me as Lord Vishnu. Mama parama prarthaniyascha, and my highest ambition is tair sahasangama, is to have their company. Okay, so such devotees are as dear to me as Lord Vishnu, and my sole ambition is to have their association. Prachetas, all of them. Lord Shiva has higher regard for pure Vaishnavas than for his own associates headed by Nandishwara. As Lord Shiva then told 10 Pracheta brothers, Ata Bhagavata yoyam priyasta bhagavan yata namad bhagavatanam cha preyan anyosti karhichit. You devotees are dear to me, Bhagavan yata, just as the Supreme Lord is dear to me. Bhagavatanam cha namat preyan anyosti karhichit. Other than the devotees, there is no one who is more dear to me than the devotees, not my devotees, Vishnu's devotees. एक मिनट और कितना और एक वर्ष का टाइम है क्या? हाँ, एक वर्ष का टाइम है. 3rd चैप्टर में बहुत है. हाँ, एक वर्ष कर लेंगे. नारदाहम इदं मन्ये तादृशानां यतस्थितिः भवेत् स एव वैकुंठो लोको नात्र विचारणा. अहम इदं मन्ये, in my opinion, O Narada, tadrishanam yatastitihi, anywhere such devotees are found, okay, anywhere such devotees are found, saeva vaikuntaha loko bhavet, that is Vaikuntha Loka, where people with these kind of characteristics are there. Na atra vicharana, there is no need to argue about it. So he says, wherever such devotees are there, it is Vaikuntha. Okay. For Lord Shiva, pure Vaishnavas living on earth or anywhere else are no less glorious than the residents of Vaikuntha. Vaishnavas should never be judged by whether they live in Lord Vishnu's kingdom or not, because one who possesses the treasure of Prema Bhakti always has the Lord living with him. Kidhar, one of the Gaurang Prabhu was sharing na कि जब हम इधर में थे महावन में, there he was giving classes In that he spoke about Ramanujacharya's 9 different ways in which you can commit offenses, judge a Vaishnava inappropriate ways. One of the thing is to judge a Vaishnava as being inferior because he does not live in the Dham, like that. So the personality of Godhead himself has said, Naham vasami vaikunte na yogi hridaye ravau mad bhakta yatra gayanti tatra tishtami narada. Naham vasami vaikunte. I don't stay in Vaikunta, which means I don't like to say as much in Vaikunta. That's what it means. Na yogi hridaye. Nor do I like as much to stay in the heart of a devotee, O Narada. Tatra tishtami. As much as I like to stay Mad Bhakta Yatra Gayanti, where my devotees chant my names. Like that. Okay, so we will pause here. Yeah. So we will end here and we'll continue this discussion on Monday. Ravau means sun, Surya, Ravi. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad ki jai, Shri Brihad Bhagavatamrita ki jai, Srila Gopi Parandan Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.